For members of the group, a bale of grass goes for 100 shillings, but a non-member will pay 500 shillings per bale. This amount will shoot to 700 shillings per bale in the next harvest. Through the training, Kivuvo says 180 households in the locality have adopted grass farming as an income-generating activity.
Sasa tukija kwetu tukiuza bale for 700, tukifunga sasa ile bale kama zile zinanunuliwa na hata serikali. For 700, tukifunga bales kama vile serikali inafunga inauza. Hapa tulikuwa nafunga ni mingi, maana tulikuwa tunafungia kila mtu kulingana na ile pesa akona. Kama una 500 ufungia 500, ya tulikuwa tukifunga kulingana kwa 100. So ulichukua kulingana vile una uwezo. So tuseme around kama tumepata around about 60 bells. Yeah. Lakini tulikuwa tuwafusia mtu mmoja, ni members wetu tu. Tuko wale active sasa, as we are talking, tuko about 40 active. Those are active members.
According to Emmanuel Fondo, the World Vision manager in charge of dryland development projects in Machakos County, before their intervention, large parts of the dry yatta had been wasted due to degradation owing to soil erosion and overstocking, such that they could not support any other form of production.
Today we can report that some of those things have been rehabilitated and brought back to production. For instance, we realize that when you integrate those rainwater harvesting technologies within that area, you could see results in a very short period. For instance, Ndivuni A, we did a rehabilitation in 2017 because the place was too bare. And 2018, we had the testimony from the farmers that they were able to harvest pasture, they were able to harvest grass seeds, and the area have been recovered. And it became an avenue for other community members to learn from. And today, so many farmers have replicated the same in their farmlands, and the areas that were wasted have been brought back to crop production. So having done that, we realized that there was an increase in crop production, as testified by the farmers themselves, because some of the value chains that the program was promoting, like the green grams, the cowpeas, the pigeon peas, there was an increase in production, as attested by the farmers themselves. We had farmers who were doing bulking, farmers who were able to sell to the market and get money from those sales. So I can say that the integrated rainwater harvesting technologies have really bear fruit.
Fondo also says World Vision ensures that the grass seeds are of high quality, produced by the Kenya Agricultural Livestock Research Institute KALRO in Kiboko, Makueni County, and that they are varieties that do well in arid areas.
We were planting direct seedlings, selected seedlings to support the soil texture on those areas, and also the trees that could do well within those areas, especially the traditional varieties. Then we had the seed ball technology, where now we were using the seed ball to experiment whether it could work within those the areas that needed rehabilitation. Simply because the seed balls could stay for long, and as you know, this area, the rains are not frequent. So we thought by using the direct seeds, maybe it would take time, or they could be blown away, or even the birds could come and pick them. So we said we wanted to try the seed balls, and which it worked very well. So when I say seed ball, I mean the seed of the grass. Let's say, for instance, if I want to use Ergoristic superba, you take the seed, put it in a nutritional bond, and then you cover it with charcoal dust, like a marble. Then these balls, they are just thrown there. So they will wait within those areas until the conditions are favorable. Especially when it rains now, the outer part, the charcoal dust dissolves, and then the seed start germinating. So it will create longer roots, which will be very tough, and they will be able to sustain. So some of the seeds that we chose were the acacias. The acacias, because this area can support acacia, And we thought that acacia are traditional trees within this area. So another tree that, another seed that we used was the Sesbania sesban, because of its nature of making sure that the area become very soft, and it will create an enabling environment to support other regeneration to occur. So we used those ones and they germinated. Actually, when we take a percentage on the germination rate from the seed balls, we could give it at around 75%, because all the seed balls that were thrown here almost all germinated. And as a result, they have made even those areas become very soft, and it can support any crop within those areas. This has been testified by the pastures that grew on the same areas, because the farmers were able to harvest seeds, and also they were able to harvest pasture, which they have baled the pasture, and they are using it now at this time when it is very dry to support livestock within their household.
The overall aim of the project is to transit the local farmers from subsistence farming to commercial farming through climate-smart production. World Vision has been able to prove that even with harsh climatic conditions, farmers can still benefit from their farms, which could otherwise be idle and unproductive.
The seeds that we were using here, we made sure that they were of high quality seeds. So we sourced the seeds from the Kenya Agricultural Livestock and Research Station, Kiboko, because they were certified seed. And we made sure that because they have the vigor to germinate, and also they can be replanted for like 4 seasons without being before they start deteriorating their viability. So we had to go for those certified seeds to make sure that we get the good quality and high quality seeds, so that the farmers could benefit on the same. Most of especially for the pasture, we used the Agorestic superba, and also the other one was Encaras. These are some of the species that they do best within this area. So we use those ones. In Kikamba, they're called Data Kivumbu, and the other one is Mbetwa.
World Vision hails grass farming as a convenient venture for dry areas, because grass does not need a lot of rains, and a farmer is always assured of the harvest.
The program deliberately trained farmers on climate smart production, because of the changes within the globe on climate change. It has affected this place. So farmers adhered to the principles of climate smart production, and they saw a lot of change, because through diversification, although the droughts extends, they are able to rear chicken, so they are able to sell the chicken. They are able to sell pasture because of the way they are doing the rehabilitation within their farms. So these are some of the things that they've been able to go by to mitigate on the climate change within those areas. If you look at this area, the last rain came during the short rains, and since then they have not received any rains, and this is because of the climate change. This is because of climate change, and farmers were able to continue because of the diversification that they have been doing within their farmlands, because they have other alternative livelihoods that they have embarked on. So it has given them another chance for them to continue surviving and even to have food within their homesteads. Children are no longer malnourished because they have plenty of vegetables, the rearing of poultry, they are able to access eggs. So there's a lot of there's an improvement in terms of income generation within the household.
In land rehabilitation efforts, grass is integrated with tree species that support the local soil in what is known as enrichment method. Fondo advises farmers to reduce overstocking and engage in zero grazing as a way of reducing soil erosion. Philip Keitany for the Next Frontier.